Hello, everybody. Welcome again today. So, today I have with me somebody really, really interesting. She has a 14-year experience. She's a certified body language coach, and she's from Mumbai, and she's also a founder of 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐻𝐡𝐢. So, welcome, Deepa Kaur.
Thank you so much, Vidhi. A very good evening to you.
Very good evening. So, Deepa, tell me something about what you do, and can you introduce yourself a little bit more than what I did?
Sure, I can. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Deepa Kaur, and I'm from Mumbai. I've been into corporate training since past 7 years, and prior to that, I was working in the aviation industry, where I have worked with organizations like Kingfisher Airlines and Singapore, where I was based in Singapore, and have seen around more than 45 plus countries in that tenure of 3 years. In 2014, I quit my career. I came back to Mumbai to become an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be a boss for myself. And I started this organization called as 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐻𝐡𝐢 Vidhi, we are into corporate learning and development. Started as a trainer, started building team. I spearhead projects with a lot of organizations. And being a body language coach is something which is my passion hobby, something which I've been practicing it for years now. Certification was just to get more, credentials to it that, okay, I have a certificate. But more than that, it's more of an experience that speaks through my coaching.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's about me.
That's wonderful to know. So, Deepa, tell me, why is body language such an important thing about a human? Like, when we are talking to people as a part of image, why is it such an important part?
Right. Vidhi, I'm glad you asked that question, because initially when I started with my body language coaching, I struggled a lot with this concept of body language, because people would take me, okay, that I'm an image consultant. I was like, no, I'm not an image consultant. I don't get into the wardrobe. I don't get into the colors. And, I don't get into body types. Then they thought when I spoke about lie detection that I could be an NLP practitioner. I am not an NLP practitioner, but I've read a lot about NLP. The body language comes from the biology part of it. Now, to answer your question, Vidhi, did you know that there was actually a part in your brain that decodes body language signal?
Wow. Okay.
Right. Second is, in a 30-minute conversation, so let's say even if I'm live with you right now, we would be giving across a close to 750 to 800 non-verbal signals.
Yeah.
The biggest irony is none of this, okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds to digest that fact. Now, none of this is taught to us in educational system. One is at the mercy of either someone has a hobby like me, so they read a lot about body language, but nowhere this part of the brain or the muscle is developed.
Yeah.
Right? And we just have certain labels in mind. Agar usne aisa kiya, if this person has done like this, it's a truth, it's a lie. Oh, I believe like this and I believe like that, but what's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Now, why body language is also important, I'm a very big fan of Sigmund Freud, and he says that no mortal can, keep a secret. So if he's keeping his lips shut, he would be probably chattering with his fingertips. So there's a lot of juicy information that, a lot of us focus on what we are going to say and not on how we are going to say it. And we are just letting go of this beautiful information that happens during a conversation. That is why I feel body language is important, because it's not really about what you say, how you say it, and majority, like more than 60% of a communication is non-verbal. Right? So we just express very few percent through our words. Yeah. It's my voice modulation. It's a little bit to do with my grooming, my appearance, and a lot to do with how I come across. Because when probably we move on later, I would be able to share at the right time that why does this happen.
Absolutely. In fact, I still remember when I was in Australia in school, I recall one very incident that we had a PTA meeting, and it was just my first year there, and it was the first PTA meeting, and my mom was called in, and over there they give you like a very detailed report. They don't talk about your education; they talk about everything else. And that
Okay.
was the first time ever the teacher told my mom that she needs to work on her body language. And I was so confused in sixth grade. I'm like, what is this body language all about?
Wow.
And ever since then, I was always researching about it, and I was trying to understand how can I give in a good body language to people. And what was she even trying to say? I even actually went to her as a child, and I'm like, ma'am, what did you mean by that? Like, can you help me how I can improve that? And
Hmm.
she's like, no, just sit straight and have a smile on your face. I'm like, but I always have a smile on my face. So I
Hmm.
mean, it was interesting, like, like just that smile on your face. And I was like, how can you smile all the time in school? Like, you know,
Yes. Yes.
interesting. So it was interesting. And that leads me to asking you a question. Can one read body languages? Is it
Uh,
possible?
Yes, you can practice. So, Vidhi, the way I look at the entire body language, I mean, I read a lot about it. Okay, I've read a lot of books. I've practiced them when we do training for sales, for customer centricity. I've practiced that on board. When I was a flight attendant with Singapore Airlines, meeting various nationalities, talking to them, approaching to them, there were certain common factors that always worked. It
Yeah.
was only later when you digged in, you got to know that can someone learn to read body language? That's yes. So Vidhi, do you practice workout? Do you work out, go to gym, or any kind of
I do
exercise
have
routine?
workout, of course, because of the lockdown. But before that, yes, I did go to a gym.
Do you remember your first day at gym?
Yeah, very much.
How was your experience? Did you come back with a lot of
I
energy and
was
enthusiasm?
confused. I was very confused. I was very scared.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I had all of that because for me, gymming like has this entire thing that you're going to have abs and all, and like, okay, how? And it was very weird.
Okay. And when you hit the gym the day one, and when you came back, how did your muscles feel?
I felt very relaxed actually. There was pain, but it was fun. I loved it.
Right? So that was the first time you gave muscle a practice. You
Yeah.
felt sore, you felt discomfort.
Yeah.
One can also learn to read body language, and it's going to be discomforting for them because you are activating a part of your brain, which is an entire muscle, to learn the accurate way of interpreting a body language. Right. So on the very surface of it, what I can actually say I can go on for 3 hours to 3 days. Okay, and I know that we have 30 minutes. So what I would like to say is yes, learn to read body language. One, you can, there are 5 C's that follow. First C is communication. Any non-verbal communication which is backed up, in congruency. So what I'm saying, and if my body language is saying the same thing, the impact of it increases by 12 to 13%. The second is context. Learn to read body language. So even you can start practicing now. You need not really read a book. So the way you really go by it is using the gut brain, the intuitive part of it. So one may label certain cues as positive and negative, but how intuitively you feel the relationship with the person with whom you are and where you are interpreting a body language, that matters more. So you can never get the context out. So for someone who is at an interview, vis-a-vis someone who is, meeting a friend, the body language is very, very different. I will interpret it according to the situation and the scenario. The third way is try to understand whenever you are trying to learn a body language, there is body language which is universal. So, for example, there are 7 facial expressions which are universal. Facial expressions will mean same in India, same in Europe, same in US. There are cultural emblems which are different. So, for example, now this namaste is a very much Indian cultural emblem, which now probably the entire world is adapting to, right?
Yeah.
Because in the midst of this COVID, nobody is really doing that corporate shake hand. So this is the cultural emblem. You go to France, it's a natural way of greeting someone by shaking hand and probably giving a peck on the cheek. You try doing that in Asia, won't go down very well.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to remember the communication, you have to remember the context, you have to remember the cross-culturally how things are different. Last but not the least, one cannot get the consistency out. How consistent is this person with his words? How consistent are the body language and the comfort when the person is talking to you? So one can definitely learn, but just keep one thing in mind. Don't start labeling it that, yeah, this definitely means this definitely means this, because it's the entire art. And the way I look at it is, if I can interpret body language, it is in order to build relationship, make the other person feel comfortable.
Totally.
So a lot of times when I give introduction that, okay, I'm a body language coach and a lie detection, all my participants go like, I was like, don't worry, I'm not a psychopath. I will turn into one if I start doing that every time. So one can definitely learn, although it will require a practice with you.
Absolutely. And that's so lovely. So Entrepreneur Excel is asking how to read body language.
How to read body language? Well, there are a lot of aspects to it. So is this Namrata ma'am by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, you have to, when I do my mind body language coaching, I have various aspects that we cover. How does one has their eye contact in place, their hands in place, the way they sit, the way they walk, and their voice modulation. A lot of aspects go into reading a body language. Just to start off with, is I can just give you a simple differentiation with which is the smile, Vidhi. So a person can fake a smile, and the thing about our brain is, as far as we can see it happening, it exists. Now, is the person really genuinely smiling at you? How do you find out? How do I know that this person is really happy to meet me or they are faking it? So I'll tell you how a fake smile looks like. All right. So I like to animate my faces when I'm doing my sessions. So here's how a fake smile. Okay. So I'm gonna make my face very straight.
Absolutely.
Appears smiling, but was I really smiling?
Yeah. This is what happens at offices or with people you don't really like, and you still have to talk to like your boss and all of them. So that's a very interesting way to decode a smile. And which smile is a genuine smile? The one that you're having now?
Well, you say it. So in the one where you actually show your dentures, it is one. So the statement is actually true, Vidhi. You actually smile through your eyes.
Wow.
Okay. So let's look at this. I'm hiding my lips to decode what a real smile is.
Right.
Am I smiling now?
No.
It's a fake smile.
Yeah.
You see? So one of the simple way to activate your original smile is either you have a pen next to you, or you can use your finger, whichever you feel you're comfortable is, and just try doing this. Just try doing that. You will feel a muscle activation here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you will have these crow feet. This is what makes person more attractive, more attuned rather than a fake smile. So if I want to see if the person is really happy to see me, I will look into the eye of the person and not the smile, because I know that's fake. That could be fake. And the best thing is during the lockdown times, once when you're wearing a mask, even when I do a lot of call center training, participants are like, non-verbal communication, how does it make sense? I'm on the call. The person can't see me. As like the way your physiology is, it's going to activate or affect your psychology. So we all feel the difference, right? When someone just says hello, and when someone says hello, you can feel the energy, you can feel the emotion, right? When you're wearing a mask, hello, how are you? Your greetings, your handshake is actually now going to happen through this part of your face.
Absolutely.
So, in fact, when I was in Singapore, there used to be a lot of Southeast, Asian women. Even when they smiled, they did not have crow's feet. And one of the effective solutions for especially ladies who have this is you make that winged eyeliner. Something like when what Deepa Kaur Gill did in Om Shanti Om. Yeah. That is what causes attractiveness than anything else. So here's an effective tip in order to decode whether the smile is original or fake.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Deepa. Let's get to the next question that I have for you. And that is that, these days, we are having a lot of virtual sessions, and is there something that you'd recommend keeping in mind while we are doing the virtual session? Some body language, some cues to keep in mind.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question, because when we look into the pyramid of communication, face-to-face communication is the best. Next is get on the call, and the worst one is send emails. The next best solution is virtual, and nothing really changes here. So a few tips I can give is, one, have definitely a very good lighting. If one does not have a good lighting around, you can invest in those selfie lights, but just plug it around. Looking at the person very clearly, it gives a lot of satisfaction that, yes, I can trust this person and this person is listening to me. Second, I see a lot of people nowadays in the webinar, when they position themselves, they are, literally this close.
Yeah.
Or either they have their phone, so it's a smart gadget, but actually it does not make them look smart. Most of us, we use our phone probably at this angle, down.
Yeah.
Bring it up. You could use your tea, coffee cup or anything to, place your phone, but bring it at an eye level. So if you have a desktop like I have, wherever, no matter wherever, if I was to sit normally, like if I have a notebook and a pen here, I would be this close. But I know I want to interact. I'm going to push myself through the table, probably at half arm or a full arm distance, and I'm going to position myself. So here, you not only get to see my face, but also the upper body and my hand gestures. I see a lot of hand gestures getting devoid and people only looking. And there is an internal need for every human to see the hands, because hands, kind of indicate a lot of trust. I have nothing to harm. I'm making it to use more in an expressive way. So these are the few tips that I would give. And of course, in the start of the session, whether it's a training program, whether you're waiting for your guest to come in, or whether you're waiting for people to align, keep them engaged, just like you would do that in any other regular meeting. Have a chat, have engagement, let there no be a dull period or a moment.
Yeah, totally. And that's wonderful. Thank you for these tips. I'm definitely going to use them.
Sure.
Let's get to the next question, and that is, are there some effective tips that you would kind of put forward that we notice when we read body languages?
Effective tips, right? One, don't read everybody's body language. Two,
I love that.
It's definitely not your spouse. Definitely no. Second, as an observation, you want to hone your skills of reading body language. Choose a person who is going to be your, so-called guinea pig. We are going to make your observations and ask them questions on how you feel. So for that, you need to develop is effective listening skills and questioning skills. Okay. Right. So how do you make a person comfortable with you if you want to find out really about that one particular question that you want to ask? Start by asking regular questions. So what do we have for breakfast today? And this and that. And suddenly I will put in my question that I want to ask. Now if I see a behavior being wavered, okay, in a normal circumstances, this person does certain kind of gestures, which is okay, or facial expressions. Right. When uncomfortable with any topic or questions, the body language completely changes. That's what I am going to look out for or decode. Second, get to know the person. Another tip is figure out what is the comfort language of the person. So there are a lot of people who are comfortable in their own native language. They express more. Choose to converse with them in the native language. If they are not comfortable with English or Hindi or vice versa, don't choose that language. Seek what is their comfort zone. Be interesting, build rapport, get into that zone with them, and now figure out intuitively that what are these changes that you observe, and keep on making notes. So one of the effective tips to read the body language is just collect data. Just keep on collecting data. And what is that one surprise element that you see? That will speak volumes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's take up this question: how to have a confident body language?
How to have a confident body language? Excellent. One, smile on your face. Two, your eye contact. All right. So on a very basic paradigm of a body language, right? So either it is too less. So the way I look at it, Vidhi, the body language, there's no positive or negative. It's just the way it is. But is it purposeful? Is it helping you in achieving what you want? So I can give worse of my body language when I hate a person, or when I know I don't want to get through this job or that particular interview. I know I'm going to perform worse. There are certain body language and gestures that you can do where you know you have delivered worse, but the same thing can work for you as well.
Absolutely.
Right? So in order to appear confident, one is smile, and second is your eye contact. So either you avoid an eye contact, which will make you feel less confident that you're avoiding someone, or either you give too much of eye contact, you're going to scare the person away because it's as good as staring. If I look at Vidhi only, okay, let's say it was a face-to-face conversation and I'm continuously staring in your eye, it would make you feel uncomfortable that, okay, why is she not looking anywhere else?
Yeah.
Now, in the quest of looking anywhere else, you know what people do? They look up at the ceiling and they look down at the floor and they start looking, okay, there's something kept on my shelf, and they don't look into the eye. So here's an effective tip to come across as confident. In the conversation that you're having with a person, hold the eye contact for around 60 to 70% of the time.
Right.
What do you do for rest of the 30% is don't look at the ceiling, your watch, or don't look down at the floor. You can just drift 10% through nearby eyes, either the forehead or the two earlobes. Max to max, you can go is 10% more on this zone. You will never look below nose area.
Yeah.
In a professional setting. Yeah, in an absolute professional setting. So one is smile, one is eye contact. If it wasn't a COVID situation, then I would say giving a firm handshake works very well. But even if this is not there, just a smile, eye contact, and a nod is good enough to acknowledge that own the room, and the way you walk, shoulders little back.
Yeah.
And chest a little, out, and that should be all. Nose also a bit up, but not this much up that you look arrogant, but just a little high nose works very well.
So there are a lot of questions, Deepa, here, but I'm going to kind of filter it to asking this one. Let's filter some because there is another important question that I want to ask you then. Okay. And the question is, what are positive and negative body languages? This is asked by Tejal.
Great. So I would like to explain it with an example. Okay, I have two very, very beautiful examples with me now. There was a research which was done, Vidhi, for, there are these sports events which happen for people who are blind from birth, conjointly blind. They can't see, but they do participate in the sports activities. Now, interesting things seen in the, these participants who won a race or an event. Every time a participant, won, they did this body language, both the arms up. Yes, won. They screamed, they jumped. Now, please remember, these people are blind from birth. They haven't seen any of the winning gestures. That means it is innate, something we are born with. And every time a participant lost a race, they showed shame. They wanted to consume as less space as they can. I want to just, be a dot in such a small world. I just want to. They showed sadness.
Totally.
Everything that is sad, not so confident, becomes my negative. And everything that attracts, is full of energy, is my positive body language. A very interesting case study which happened, Vidhi, was in 1960. There was a presidential election which was taking place for the first time in the American history between Kennedy and Nixon. Now, this was first ever a presidential debate was happening on live camera, a live telecast. Now, remember, it's 1960. Not everybody in America have TV in their home. After the presidential debate was over, two contrasting results came out. For everybody who saw the debate, they said that Kennedy would win. And for everyone who heard the debate, they said that Nixon would win. How is this possible? Because one was viewing. So the videos are there on YouTube. They are around for 1.5 hours, but you can just watch it in first 5 to 10 minutes. And, you can figure it out, the crux of it. So one is the dressing of the person. Kennedy is dressed up in absolutely black, full power dressing. He has been working out. He's eating right, sure of what he wants to say. And the body language that he showed during the interview was so sure, was so full of confidence, right? Whereas Nixon, just weeks before he was hospitalized, he was on antibiotics, he had a knee surgery. So the way even if he's sitting on the chair, it looks like a runner stance. So a confident look on the chair is where you're balancing both the body weight or the feet weight on both the legs. A runner stance is where you have your 1 foot ahead. So anybody viewing it, it's like, the bell is going to ring and children are just going to run out of the school, that I want to run away from the stage. And he's looking more often towards Kennedy during the interview than the audience sitting in front.
Wow.
So every time someone looks at Nixon, they see Nixon looking at Kennedy, and eventually everybody ends up looking at Kennedy. So there are certain positive body language cues and gestures that you can do. For example, keep your palms more visible. Don't do knuckle, don't fidget. Use hand, as a gesture, but don't use it to scratch, to do this, to cuff. Don't use it more towards your face. So that's considered as negative. I could go on and on with this, but Tejal, I hope I have given you fair enough of, what is positive and what is negative. Anything that makes you feel good, it makes you appear confident, we tag it under positive body language. So one was eye contact, which I covered. Second was smile. Third is hands. So watch out what signal are you giving out. So verbally, I may be saying, Vidhi, absolutely, I'm aligned with you, yes. But definitely, Vidhi, this work will done. Just imagine Deepa muted and see this. My answer is no.
Absolutely. So Deepa, tell me one thing. Why should people hire a body language coach? And if you can give in your details, and you can let people know how is it that they can contact you along with that.
Okay, sure. Why would someone need a body language coach? So I can just give you a few of the coaching clients that I have done. I won't be able to take their names due to the NDA. But let's say there's a transition in the career. Okay, so let's say someone who was an executive but now is the manager of a team of 20 to 30 people. He's now their manager, not a subordinate anymore. If the person still continues to communicate in the way a subordinate does, nobody is going to listen to him or take him seriously. Now, the look and feel, the communication, you have to be different. You have to be 2-3 notches up. Let's do that. Our parents are always, in that race with us that, no, I am a parent. You have to listen to me. Yeah. What is it that they do? Their body language is always much more stronger, much more powerful. And kids are much more subtler. So that's the kind of message we are going to give. Someone would need body language coaching services in the transition of the entire career. So I have had people who were government officials, moving into politics, enhancing public speaking skills. I interact more with females and I'm not feeling that comfortable. How can I approach, more safe to them? How can I communicate more and more expressively to them? What is it that I need to know about the other person? So right from public speaking to how you appear to others, what is the kind of feedback you have received? We work very, very holistically. We set goals. I almost do my analysis on around 14 to 15 parameters of the personality of the person. And my target is not only to improvise the life of the person in the professional life, but also in personal life. So a couple of times post 4th or the 5th session, I have the family members calling up and saying, what the hell did you do? Why? This is for the first time I have seen my mother smiling and so happy and so accommodative of others, which we never saw in so many years. So that's the kind of impact. So not only body language, I look into their personality traits. We do assessments as well, and yeah, I'll actually like my work, what I do. So I have dealt with government officials, corporate executives, students, and CEOs and entrepreneurs.
You're an all-rounder.
Yes, I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, I've seen the content. I have been to these personality development classes with and I feel that there's still so much more to offer things in a right way and in the right manner. That if one is looking for a personalized coaching, then I guess generic stuff will not work.
Absolutely. So can you, Deepa, let the audience and the viewers know how can they get in touch with you, and if they want to know more or anything, if they want to reach out and consult with you, how can they do that?
Great. So my name is Deepa. However, all my social media handles are in the name of my organization, which is 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐻𝐡𝐢, 𝐵URGEON. Do visit my website to know more. And I'm also on Instagram, on YouTube, and Facebook. So I keep on sharing my daily bites or something or the other with regards to personality development. And because I always feel that it's just the top 10% that people see. That's the looks and everything, but the internal work is more of values and principles and character and your decision taking abilities. Yeah, we work in that manner.
Awesome. Thank you, Deepa. And we're ready to close. Thank you for being there tonight. And Vidhi, I'm receiving a lot of people writing in wonderful explanation and very well explained and, amazing share. And I mean, I'm constantly reading that. So thank you. And I look forward to more sessions with you in the future.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Vidhi. Thank you so much, viewers. Please take care and have a lovely week ahead and be safe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.